Good evening, Southern Oregon. Greetings from a smoky and sort of dark evening in Southern Oregon, where tonight the Britt Festival Orchestra at North Medford High School will be performing the Jeremiah Symphony by Leonard Bernstein, as well as Mason Bates' Passage and Brahms' Fourth Symphony. Tonight we have a special guest who's doing some singing. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sasha Cooke.
Sasha
Hi,
Cooke
everybody.
is joining us for the amazing sort of heavy conclusion of the Bernstein, and then taking us on a much more imaginative, sort of magical thinking journey through Mason Bates's piece.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, something that I've been wondering about as I've watched you sort of brave the weather and the situation here as we've sort of come into a new home and tried to make this all work is what preparation must be like for an opera voice, where you're dealing with an operatic voice anyway, where you're dealing with these amazingly small tolerances in terms of what you have to present, and in terms of waking up with the same voice each day, and then all of a sudden you land in the middle of a forest fire and are expected to kind of be there no matter what.
Right.
And so what's it like? You said Taiwan to here, then Chautauqua, the other side of the country. How do you maintain any sort of equilibrium as you're traveling and dealing with this?
That's the hardest part of the job, probably.
Sure.
But I think, it's almost more of a mental thing than it is vocal.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you try to eat well, sleep well, hydrate, and all of that the best you can, so that you keep things at their top, as close to that. But then you just don't expect perfection, do you know?
Yes.
You sort of, and like the smoke is sort of a magnified version of that. Like sometimes with singing, you don't really know what's going on. You don't feel 100%, and it could be a whole number of things. And you just say, well, I'm going to give my best today, and that's all I can do.
In the end, it's moot.
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing notion that you wait for those days. I feel like as an instrumentalist, it's the same thing. I mean, you're sort of practicing for those days when it's not all right there. When
That's
it's
what
there for
technique
you,
is.
totally. When it's there for you, it's an easy deal. What are you looking forward to? How do you prepare differently for the sort of mood differences that we're showcasing for tonight's concert?
Well, so much is given to you through the music, right? So the key, for me at least, is just to be really present, right? And then to know to fully prepare and throw yourself into it.
It's an odd, broad question that I asked, but essentially I feel like your job in the two pieces is so drastically different.
Well, there's so much in common too, though. I mean, Bernstein is one of our greatest American wonders.
Sure.
So is Mason Bates. So is Walt Whitman. So is JFK. So there actually is a lot of. I mean, you're right. I guess it is surprising because Jeremiah is sort of like you feel like the lowest of the low, and very heavy, and whereas Mason's piece is very uplifting and full of wonder. But they each have that too, because Whitman has sadness.
Sure.
And I don't know. I didn't really think about it before, but I think they actually have a lot to say to each other. And I do think Mason was inspired by people like Bernstein and Barber and Copland, and you hear that maybe.
I think you absolutely hear it. And I also feel like he does an amazing job of sort of modernizing those sounds. I feel a connection inside this piece to cinema music, and you're also hearing during this piece, you're hearing samples of the old voices that she mentioned. You're hearing speeches and some poetry from an old time going on while the orchestra is playing, while she's singing, and it all seems to fit so beautifully. I was so amazed at how effective his music is. He sort of turns it loose on the orchestra. You get your part, you read your part, and it actually just
clicks.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's really marvelous to see.
Yeah, he's found a really special place in the music world that is uniquely Mason's.
Yes.
And when I did his new opera last summer, and it sold out, and they had to add a show. And what I love most about it is that a lot of people that had never been to the opera before came and were blown away.
Yes.
Because he has that sound world that embraces the old and the new, like you said, and yet something completely his own that hasn't been done. And this piece, I have to say, Passage, I like even more. I mean, it's just so exciting, fabulous. You can listen to 2 bars of it and you get that it's awesome. And then when the rocket takes off, the whole room is vibrating. I mean, literally. when we premiered at the Kennedy Center, it was just explosive.
Yes.
But thrilling.
Oh, it's a wonderful joining of so many different voices. It should be a very exciting way to hear. You know, my father was an opera singer.
Oh, cool.
And he said there's nothing better on planet Earth than a great mezzo. He
Aww,
was a tenor.
that's good to hear.
He loved to hear it. And I think that anyone who's able to join us tonight will agree that we are in the presence of a great mezzo, and that it's really rolling. We're excited to put on a great show for everyone tonight here in Southern Oregon in some less than ideal conditions.
Yeah.
But it should be a great adventure for everyone that's able to attend. So thank you so much for tuning in.